Welcome back. My name is Dave. This is Macaro Siding and Scale Layout. As you know, I probably almost always scratch build something, or this is going to be the exception with one or two little tweaks. But yeah, this time I'm going to build some kits. So I finished the railway station. And then I realized it needed to be populated with sort of a downtown setting. And I would say it years ago now, I bought 3 Walthers kits. Let me just, hold on, I'm just going to switch to, I'm going to switch to 6 here. So I bought Merchant Row 1, Merchant Row 2, and Merchant Row 3. And we are going to take the next couple of weeks and build these, paint them, and make them all pretty. Now, something just fell off my table. I don't know if I'm going to use every single one of these or whether I'm going to cut them up. I'm not entirely sure. So in a minute we're going to meet the parts here, as Lou says on Aztec Dummy. Every time he starts a new model, he says, let's meet the parts. But before we meet the parts that came purchased, let's meet the parts that came printed by me on my 3D printer. So years ago, and I mean years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, there was a Kickstarter called WOW. Called WOW. And it was buildings for wargaming. The role-playing with the little miniatures and stuff. And I went ahead and got it because it had a whole downtown. Like a whole downtown... what would you call it? Apartment buildings and a theater and all sorts of other stuff. And it had some stores in it, and I thought, well, let's see what we can do with that. So I'm just gonna bring the light over here. I can't tell looking at it, but this is one of the buildings, and 3D printed it in 3 parts. You can print it as a solid thing. And then when I did that, I realized that was stupid. Because once it was solid, it would end up as one big block. Maybe I should switch to 7 for these. I'm going to switch to 7 for these. There. And we'll switch to 7 and we'll zoom in a bit. Oh, I gotta remember, this is the camera that's different. Sorry, I'll fix this in the edit. There we go. And this would have been a solid block, which meant I could not get inside it. So I couldn't do any glazing, I couldn't do any lighting, I couldn't do anything with it. And I went back and looked at the files, and what they did was they gave you the building as pieces. So I have a base, I have the 3 floors and a sort of a, I don't know what you would call it, a loft, and a roof. And so I went back, because I did print this one as one piece. And then when I got it out of the printer, I went, oh, that's not a smart idea, David. You're going to have to cut it apart or something. And I went back and reprinted it. So I have one of these, and this is a storefront. It sits like this. And it's a corner unit. So I printed that, And then I thought maybe we should, you know, there in lots of older towns, there are rows and rows of storefronts beside each other like this. And so I printed 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This fifth one has been primed with a primer. And then I didn't want all of them to have the same frontage. So I went on, I'm pretty sure all I did was search for storefronts in 3D. And so I printed, I'm gonna hold this like this. Where am I? This way. I printed, I'm trying to hold it so you could see it. Fronts to go on these buildings. And what I'm going to do is, there was only one that printed properly and gave me the little corner pieces here at the entrance. All the others, that piece broke off when I took the supports off. So I then printed out these fronts. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off, and I'm going to super glue this on the front of this. And then the same with this one. A different front. And the same with this one. A completely different front. And lastly, this one. This one, which is a full front, is going to go on here. And all I'm going to do is take a Dremel, and I'm just going to cut the whole frontage out, super glue it in place, and putty it to seal it up and make it pretty. And then I'm going to have 5 separate storefronts. And they just have a flat roof, so it's a simple piece, simple as getting some styrene, cutting it to fit, and glue it in place. So that's the 3D printed stuff. I'm just going to get these things out of the way. And we're going to go back to 6. Now the other thing that I did was, I believe, I'm not sure if this was kit 1. It might have been 1. It was either 1 or, I think it was 1. I'm just looking at the pictures. Might have been. Okay, yeah, might have been. Anyway, Walthers supplied window shades, window curtains, and storefronts. And then just things to block the windows. Now I usually block the windows by using a styrene, a dark styrene sheet, and cut it to fit. So what I did there was I took it to my computer and put the Walthers sheet in the computer, or in the scanner that's attached to my computer, and I printed out. Print out 4 more sheets. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I printed out 4 sheets, which is actually 8 of these, and that's ready to go in the windows. So let's just take a look at what comes in the kit. Let's do it in order. Let's do it 1. So Resistance row 1 is 7.5 by 3.5, or 190 by 89, and it's 2 5/16 tall. I didn't convert that over to metric, but because I just really need to know the footprint. The height doesn't really matter. You know the footprint's gonna. So in this one, And this will be sort of a repeat thing. You get a bag full of stuff. You get all the clear plastic for the windows. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them. I haven't in the past. I've always kit bashed the windows. Oh, wait a minute. There's more stuff here. Whoa! Oh, isn't that nice? And they're decals to go on the outside of the building. Wow. I didn't know that. Then we have the actual, sorry, I'm trying to keep it in camera. We have the actual building. And this is all of the frontage in one piece. I wanted to know if I had done the right thing with printing these. And if I put this one up against the ones that Walthers sells, I have. The windows are the right size. Doors are the right size. So I'm quite happy with that. And then the last thing you get is a roof that covers all of the spaces, and trying to forget. Oh, here, sidewalk. And these might be downspouts. I think they might be downspouts. And then there's an inset for two of the doors on this particular model. I mean, this is going to be dead simple to build. And I mean, it's $13. What are 13? The 13 is downspouts. I mean, it is quite simple. You got 4 walls, a base, and a roof. And that's about it. So what I'm going to probably do, I was thinking about this before, is I haven't decided whether I'm painting them before I put them together or I'm painting them after I put them together. I think with ones like this, where it's all one solid block, I'm going to paint them before I put them together. So probably next week what you'll see is the start of the paint job. I'm just going to put this back in here. Like I said, there's nothing going to happen except for you seeing what things are like. And then starting Monday, I usually take weekends off. Starting Monday, I will probably try to build or paint them all on Monday, getting them ready. And then same thing again. Oh, and more decals. This is going to be interesting. These things are tiny. Oh, they are separated though. They are not just a solid sheet. Okay, so that goes there. So once again, what do we have? Now I guess if you weren't into painting and detailing, you could just build them because the buildings are essentially already colored. So again, two sprues with the glazing. This obviously is a roof. They even got a clock on it. Holy crap! Again, it's the whole model, solid, one piece. So when I'm painting, I'm going to have to mask off, and then I'm going to have to decide what I'm doing with the window frames. So it may be a tedious job to paint these. I mean, you could just leave it the way it is, but you know, that's really not that pretty. So that's odd. The back wall. Oh. Oh, one must be a sidewall. Anyway, there's that kit. I don't understand why there's this thing here. Did I open the wrong box? No, I didn't open the wrong box. I'm looking at the wrong. I'm looking at one and not at the other. So this goes back in there. Okay, we got rid of the spag. That's Merchant's Row 2. And the last one, Merchant's Row 3. And Merchant's Row 3 is just 3 buildings. Again, sidewalk. And I'll talk about sidewalks again in a minute. The actual buildings, and again, it's one flat surface, so if you're going to separate the buildings out by color, you're going to have to mask. Sidewalls and back wall, they might be the same color. They might all be the same color sidewalls. We'll just change the frontage. And again, gray. Where's the hole in this thing? Here we go. Oh, there's a stairway. Again, doors. I'm looking at them. Oh, these are all inset doors, so they're not flush with the front of the building. So again, and you know, I'm not going to leave them like this. I'm going to have to paint them. There's just no way that my little brain is going to allow. Okay, this is just about if there's something missing. Oh, this kit's different. In this kit, they just give you a piece of clear styrene. All the others give you thick stuff. And lastly, and in this one, no decals at all. So I said I was going to talk about sidewalks. On the Walthers kits, the buildings sit on a plate and have the sidewalk. So this is the front and this is the back. And I guess this is, oh, that must be that's where the stairs go up in the back of the building. So this is going to have to be colored a concrete color, which I have. In fact, it's sitting right here. Concrete dark. I don't know if I have a concrete light. If I do, I will use it, or I will mix that so that it's light. So what I did for sidewalks for the 3D printed buildings was, all you have to, it's amazing what you can find. You would think, why would anybody ever make this? I went and looked, I'm pretty sure it was Cults 3D. I'll check to make sure. And I printed a whack of sidewalks. So they will sit in front of the building. Like this, like that, and then turn. Now the problem with this one is that the building is sitting right on the layout. It's not sitting up. So I'm going to have to find, I'm either going to have to 3D print plastic as thick as the sidewalks so that I can raise the building up. And I'm definitely going to, I think I'm definitely going to do that. I don't think I might have styrene that's, I might have styrene that's thick enough, because I do have lots of different thicknesses. But the easiest way is just put the calipers on put the calipers on the sidewalk. And here we go. On 0 millimeters, and this is 1.62 thick. So what I'm probably going to do is measure this and make a flat piece that's 1.06 thick. Well, now it's 1.5. No, okay, what? It's 1.06. Yeah. So, and that's going to go on this so that everything sits at the same height. And they are my sidewalk, which is much smaller, but it is the same thickness as the Walthers kit. So the plan is to go over to the computer and design a base for these particular buildings. And once that's done, to systematically paint the frontage and maybe some of the sides. I'm going to have to go and look through my all my paints, because I've got a whack of paint, and there's got to be enough different colors out there for me to be able to paint this thing as you know, so that it isn't just a flat brown building. I mean, on number 3, if you look here, I'll just hold it there. You see how these two are brown, and then this is a lighter color. So what I'm going to have to do is figure that out, and you'll notice that door frames and window frames, they're also different colors, and so is some of the decorative touches at the top of the building. So it's going to be an interesting build. I'm not sure I have 20 inches anywhere on my layout that I can do this. If I add in the 3D printed ones, this thing goes out to, you know, 25, 26, maybe even 30 inches. I'll have to think about what I want to do, because it's I'd like it to be a feature, but I'm not sure how to do it as a feature right now. One of the ways to do it is to use to print these and build these, and then put them along the highway that runs along by the staging yard, and build some roadway out here so there's parking, and see how that works. The only bad thing about doing it this particular way is that they will not face outward. They'll be facing into the layout, not out of the layout. So you'll have to really twist your head around to find a spot where you can see where we've done all this work. But we'll have to make it up. If you're watching this and you want to give me a suggestion about whether they're to do them with a highway here and have the frontage facing the highway, or to turn them the other way around and add another road out here so that you can walk along this side of the layout and actually see all the work that's been done on these buildings. Because, you know, like putting all the curtains in and everything else, once it's turned this way, not going to be able to see it very much. There's also the point of, are we going to light all of these? I'm not 100% sure. I might just do street lights. So we'll see. So I'd like to thank you for watching today. I know we didn't do much, and this may not be that interesting for some of you, but these are the things that keep me up at night. I tell you, I go to bed at night, and I'm lying there, and I'm starting to think about, okay, now how am I going to do this? Where do I get this? What do I do? How is this supposed to work? So it's just it's life consuming when you're building a layout and doing a YouTube channel. If I was just doing this by myself, I probably wouldn't do all this extra work. So I want to thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and I'll see you next week with some painted frontage on these buildings. Thanks, and bye for now.